Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. Thank you so much for being a viewer. Thank you so much for being a subscriber. If you can do me a favor and gently click that like button if you learn something new. Also, please subscribe and enable notifications. That would mean a lot to me. That would be your vote of support for me and all the efforts that go into this channel. Let's just jump right in. Some new information has come to light about the call that transpired today between US Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin, who spoke with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi at 3 p.m. East Coast time today. They did have a rather long conversation. It was actually close to midnight in the United Arab Emirates for US Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin. So let me give you an update about what happened on this call. On your screen, you'll see a tweet from Drew Hammer, who's a spokesperson for House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. And Drew Hammer wrote, "The Speaker and Secretary Mnuchin spoke at 3 p.m. That's East Coast time today for approximately 53 minutes. In this call, they continued to narrow their differences. So it seems like there was progress on the talks today, but I'll give you some new input from Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell as well so that you can have a comprehensive and a well-rounded update. The Speaker has tasked committee chairs to reconcile differences with their GOP counterparts on key areas." And Drew continued, "The Speaker continues to hope that by the end of the day, Tuesday, which is tomorrow, at the time I'm recording this video, we will have clarity on whether we will be able to pass a bill before the elections. The two principals, meaning House Speaker Pelosi and Mnuchin, will speak again tomorrow and staff work will continue around the clock." So it does sound like it was an interesting call today. And so it looks like, there was something productive that happened on the call today. Now on your screen, you'll see a tweet from Jake Sherman over at Politico reacting to this tweet from Drew Hamel, and Jake said, "Differences continue to narrow, time getting short." And in this next tweet on your screen, also from Jake, you'll see he says, "Also, by the way, empowering Republican ranking members with 24 hours left is something," meaning that with 24 hours left before this deadline, if you will, from Speaker Pelosi, getting Republican lawmakers on board is going to be quite a challenge. Now, I want to talk about this deadline really quick. You've been seeing a lot of news out there about this, this sort of a deadline and something has to happen before the deadline. Keep in mind, this is just an artificial deadline. A lot of these deadlines, even in politics, don't really mean a whole lot. So I wouldn't worry too much about if there's no agreement by the end of the day tomorrow. Although there's a very high probability that there'll be some news emerging tomorrow because of this artificial deadline. I mean, 2 weeks ago, the president called off stimulus negotiations and, to 48 hours later, they were back on. So let's just stay calm. You can depend on me to give you the actual news. I do think something will happen tomorrow. But even if something doesn't happen tomorrow, DC is such an unpredictable place. I debated calling this episode also the DC Comedy Hour. I think that should be a new section to the Ignition Time show, the DC Comedy Hour. Let's just keep our expectations in check and see what happens. I'll be sure to give you the honest news and the truth as it emerges. Now, also something else happened today that was extremely interesting. I did report earlier in the day that the White House Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows, said that the Senate Majority Leader would put a vote on the floor of the Senate if there was an agreement. I also mentioned that this is not something we have heard the Senate Majority Leader say publicly on his own. Guess what? He was given the opportunity to say just that, and he did not confirm that there would be a vote on the floor of the Senate, even though White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, I'm the messenger, don't blame the messenger, even though the White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows said that the Senate Majority Leader would indeed do that. On your screen, you'll see a tweet from Burgess Everett, who's a congressional reporter for Politico. The Senate Majority Leader was specifically asked the question, would the Senate consider a deal between House Speaker Pelosi and the Trump administration? And the Senate Majority Leader responded rather cryptically, "I think I addressed that a couple of days ago," which means that he has not provided a firm answer, and the Senate Majority Leader is giving himself some wiggle room. He did not address whether this means there'll be a vote before the election or not. In fact, here's a tweet from Jake Sherman. Jake correctly pointed out that the Senate Majority Leader did not commit to a vote. In addition, he did not say what he thought of the shape of the negotiations, the contours of the negotiations, because keep in mind, the House Speaker and the US Treasury Secretary are working to come to a consensus. In fact, to use Speaker Pelosi's words, they are narrowing their differences. And now the Senate Majority Leader, who has an opportunity to put this on the floor of the Senate for a vote, did not commit to doing so, even though the White House Chief of Staff in the morning said that he would. And I mentioned this earlier on my channel, and again, I'm going to mention DC Comedy Hour again. I think the administration lives on one planet. The Senate Majority Leader lives on a different planet. I mentioned this earlier. Maybe they live on the same galaxy, but I think it's pretty clear they actually live on different galaxies. I think they're the same species, but they do indeed live on different galaxies. This is me smiling. See, that was my attempt to be funny. I told you this was the DC Comedy Hour. So let's see Jake Sherman's tweet once again on your screen. And Jake said that the Senate Majority Leader did not talk about what he thought about the contours of the negotiation. He did not commit to a vote. And if he did, whether the vote would be before or after the election. Just mind-blowing when you think about what's going on and how long these stimulus negotiations between the administration and Speaker Pelosi have dragged on. And speaking of US Treasury Secretary Mnuchin, who's been the lead White House negotiator with House Speaker Pelosi, you'll see some pictures on your screen of US Treasury Secretary Mnuchin's trip in Abu Dhabi. You can see that he's out there probably, I mean, I would hope so, that he's on official business while millions of our fellow Americans are going hungry, are waiting for money to keep the lights on, to put food on the table. This is US Treasury Secretary Mnuchin in Abu Dhabi. Now, keep in mind that the US Treasury Secretary was supposed to return tomorrow to continue negotiations, hopefully in person, with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. But this was just reported by Saleha Mohsen at Bloomberg. And Saleha reported that US Treasury Secretary Mnuchin has extended his trip in the Middle East with an extra day in Doha. So he's not going to be coming back tomorrow, Tuesday. He's going to be returning on Wednesday. No other information has been given to the press about why he extended his trip, who he's meeting with, and so on, when he should have been back here negotiating with House Speaker Pelosi. That is where things stand right now, everybody. It is unfortunate, the state of affairs. My goal with this channel is to give you the truth, is to give you the honest news. If you appreciate my efforts, all I ask is that you please click like, you click subscribe, you enable notifications so you get instant updates from us going forward. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. If you learned something new from this video, please consider typing out a comment below. Become a part of our growing community. Again, my name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda. If you don't know anything about me, check out my video. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. We release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. That's 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. Get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time to 70,000, that's 70000. You'll get added to our SMS alerts list. You can also, if you want, get added to our email list. Simply go to ignitiontime.com/alerts. That's ignitiontime.com/alerts. You'll get added to our email list. Now, you can opt out of our SMS list or our email list at any point in time that you want. You can also follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is ignition_time. That's ignition_time. That's our Instagram handle. So make sure you follow us there. You can also follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is ignition_time as well. Keep in mind, sometimes YouTube does not send out notifications immediately. So simply bookmark youtube.com/ignition_time. That's youtube.com/ignition_time. And then you'll be able to visit our homepage, watch the videos at any point in time that you want without having to depend on YouTube notifications. Once again, if you learn something new, please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. Your vote of confidence in us is you sharing this video with friends and family. You can find all our resources in the description section below. And finally, please comment below if you have any questions or thoughts about this video. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye.